Welcome back, listeners, to another edition of Heads Up for Friday the 4th of May. Neil, welcome into the show. We should touch on last week's racing at Te Rapa. A couple of feature races there, the Cambridge Breeders' Stakes and the Travis Stakes. We'll start with the race I'm sure you'd rather talk about most out of those two, the Travis Stakes, where you confidently tipped our Aberdeen to win.
Yes, I was quite keen on her, and you could see a fair way out. She was travelling well, wasn't she, and just wore them down. Good, strong win. Form said it was going to be a good race for her, and proved to be, but it was the big race, the 3-year-old race that annoyed me, and you were there, and did you think Hanger got up?
No, not really. But yeah, speaking to Jockey Leithinus after the race, he was sure one more stride he would have got up for sure, and definitely a horse of the future, Hanger, but Paolo Hata took advantage of a favourable barrier draw and got the job done. And good to see the Baker Forsman role continue there. They certainly are right at the peak of their powers at the moment. Their team's on fire.
They certainly are. They get into the trials, give them decent reasonable runs, and even though they trial badly, they just seem to improve in 2 or 3 weeks off those trial wins. So they know exactly what they're doing. And just going back to our Aberdeen's race, my counsellor was on the ball. She told me to do my homework thoroughly in that race, and it paid off. So,
you mean the chocolate fish that I sent you? I see the old floozy's retired now, so we won't be losing any more chocolate fishes on her.
Yeah, fair enough. No, it's good racing. And what else? What was the crowd like over there?
It was a bit quiet, you'd be fair to say. Full credit to the Cambridge Club, though. They do a good job, and was fortunate enough to be in the winners' circle after race 1, and they certainly look after you
good.
Well, and go the extra mile to make sure owners have a good old day there. So these smaller clubs that don't get too many chances, certainly when they do, they make the most of it and put on a good show for owners, etc.
Yeah.
But the rain driving home on Saturday night wasn't much fun. I'd give you the tip, Neil, and then obviously got much worse. And I think we had just about a month's rainfall in a day over here in Te Rapa.
Yeah, it was a shocker. That Saturday night it was stronger, right, with the thunder as well. Coming over those kaimais and heavy rain can be fairly tricky, can't it?
Can be a bit, but we survived, so that's all good.
That's the main thing. Rightio, back with part 2 in a sec. Okay, back with part 2, and we've got the preview of a couple of good races here. And the first one we're going to preview, Money Shot, is race 6, the Waikato A Queen Veterinary Centre Stakes. Nice short name. 2-year-olds, good field, good horses. How do you see this panning out?
I think the key to this race, Neil, the 1100 metre distance, that's a pretty short run to the first bend. So barrier draws could be key, but bad barrier draws could be offset by the perceived strong pace in the race, with a lot of horses liking to lead. So tricky race, I thought. Santa Catarina's come up fixed odds favourite, but she'd need that strong pace to get over the top of them, because she generally lacks a little bit of early speed, and probably will be 6 lengths off the leaders at the 400, but hopefully she's good enough to get over the top of them, and I think she might be, actually. I think she's not a bad little horse, and funnily enough, Neil, if she could win it, her trainer Stephen Marsh would have won this race for the last 4 years.
Okay.
Previously, No More Tears, Hugo Foscolo and Art Drossen have saluted for young Sweet Pea, so could it be 4 in a row with Santa Catarina?
Yeah, I think so, but I remember we were at Matamata when she ran second, and I asked
I'm still remembering that. That still hurts.
That's right, it does too. And she ran a great second there, closing really fast, and I said, she does look really good, and she won a next start, and I said, you'll be off to Christchurch in November, and he said, probably not. Just a long trip away and that sort of thing put them off, but if she wins tomorrow, which she could easily do, be interesting to see if they change their mind with her. I think the key is 1100 metres, but the plus is the good tempo. So I think she has drifted from $3 out to $3.40, but I do still think she can win. And maybe number 6, Kiji Express. Was impressed with his run last Saturday. And it's not very often the Baker Forsman team back up a horse in a week and don't go close. I think a nice draw, allow him to settle just in behind them and be hard to beat. But Santa Catarina, yep, we both agree there.
Yeah, without a lot of conviction, but I think she probably got the most upside of most of these 2-year-olds.
Definitely, yeah.
So it'll be a good race, good stake, $50,000 for the babies. The other main meeting tomorrow, Neil's in Riccarton, and their feature race is their Great Easter Stakes, the open handicap over the 1,400 metres. The North Island visitor, La Fille Injure, has come up the favourite, and should be hard to beat from an inside barrier draw, you would think.
You'd think so, the way she won last start. She said, I bet the sectionals out, and it was an even tempo, and she just kicked away from them and held on really well. Back to 1,400 metres, the query is she's up in weight against probably a better field, and she should get an uncontested lead. And you got Batman will go forward, even though it's a big field. You got Fascinate will kick up behind, Morse Code probably go forward but won't take it on, you would think. And Zar Whip will stick in behind, so she could easily get a soft lead, and if that track's playing okay on the inside, which it could still be doing, she has to be hard to run down. 450. It'll look good money about on the turn anyway, no matter what happens.
It's pretty hard, Riccarton. I always find when the track gets a bit wet, pretty hard for leaders to hold on. It's the swoopers, and it's such a big track, they can come quite wide, and that turn is just a gradual sort of turn from about 800 to the 400.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tip against you.
Okay.
Zar Whip, there you go. The wet track conditions should play into its hands, and I thought a nice key riding change there. Rosie on instead of the Magic Man, Chris Johnson. So why not a little bit of value, and I'll even take you on. I'll tell you what, the Chocolate Fish, Zar Whip.
Okay.
I want odds of 2 to 1, so if Zar Whip wins, you only 2 Chocolate Fish.
Okay, that's fair odds then. That's a good idea. But yeah, I've actually put Zar Whip in for second. It was a good run last start, stuck out in the open and still kept closing. But there were a few horses held up and behind in a big bunch, so maybe they're just made to look good. So no, fair enough. I'll take that. Right, there's a good races in Australia tomorrow, but we won't touch on those. I might have a couple of selections there for the website, but it's one on the first race. No, I won't mention that. We'll pass on that. Anyway, we'll get back to the sports preview and part 3 in a sec. Okay, last week Money Shot, you got us up quite comfortably in the end with Newcastle beating Manly in the last few minutes there, but it always looked like they had them covered. But well done with that. Now, have you got one sorted out for us this week?
Well, we'll stick with the league tomorrow afternoon, 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Canberra host the Gold Coast Titans. Now, Canberra back at home off a win against North Queensland. Gold Coast off a home loss to Cronulla in the last few seconds of the game due to a field goal. I just think the Raiders, they're slowly getting their mojo together.
Yeah. And
at home, it's worth about 6 points in my opinion, and they're about a 6-point better team than the Titans overall. So to me that means they should be 12-point favourites, and they are only 7.5-point favourites. So option 2502, Canberra minus 7.5 at $1.87.
Minus 7.5, $1.87. No, good logic there.
Short and sweet this week, Neil.
Yep. No, they're going to be tough.
Sticking with your old friends, you haven't jumped off the bandwagon?
No, especially coming off that amazing win by the Storm over them.
I think it was a case where the Storm, wouldn't have mattered who they were playing, no one would have been able to go with the Storm, and using horse racing parlance, you'd just rule a line through that last run of the Warriors.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So no, I'll go Warriors minus 5.5. I think they'll bounce back. They bounced back off a loss to, was it Brisbane? Yeah, Brisbane, and had a good win in the next game. So at home, got to be tough to beat. Minus 5.5, $1.87. And nothing else sporting wise. There's no big events over the weekend.
No, just your league, your rugby, the snooker. The snooker's getting down to the pointy end of the tournament. Have you watched any snooker, Neil?
No, I enjoy snooker though. I used to be a big fan of Pot Black before you were
Black
born.
with Whispering Deadlow
He was great, wasn't
in
he?
the commentary box. And gee, you remember back to those days, some household names of Ray Reardon and Eddie Charlton, and moving through to Steve Davis. And
Yeah.
snooker certainly was in sport back in the 70s and 80s, but I suggest darts has overtaken it in terms of that TV appeal. But yeah, always good to watch the snookers. I think they're in the semi-final stage of the World Champs, but haven't been following it close enough to have any good oil on that. So no, I think it's just a normal sort of weekend of sport this weekend. So if you can find something and multi it into those two games there, it could end up being a nice, tidy, profitable weekend. So we'll move on to part 4, shall we? Where I'm sure you'll get fired up over something.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Okay, back soon.
Fourth and final part now of Heads Up for this weekend, Neil. We'll start with I'm sure you've got a form analysis tip for us all, something that we can all learn from the guru that you are to apply to our punting to make us even more successful.
Yeah, we all like front runners, don't we? Horse out in front, out of trouble, ticking along nicely and kicking and hopefully winning. An old favourite of mine that got me onto front runners was a horse called James Bow. It's actually a gelding, I think. But Ron Taylor used to ride it in the latter half of its career. Used to watch it at Ellerslie and back it, and a lot of things go into front runners. If they consider them getting an uncontested lead, that's a plus. And if they're good enough to win, they can usually do it for you if you do the form properly. But with the winter coming up now, you've got these track biases to worry about, like La Fille Anjou tomorrow. She's likely to get an uncontested lead, but if the track was it's a slow 9, going to be a sticky track, if they're coming out to the middle, she does tend to lose her advantage because they can attack her inside and out, and some of them like to be up against the rail as well. So track biases come into it, weights come into it, riders come into it. I remember David Walsh, one of the best front-running riders of all time. Remember him saying the key for him was to get them out in front and ticking along nicely, breathing really well. When they're comfortable, that's what you want. No matter how far in front you are or how far behind they are behind you coming to the turn. So lots of factors go into it, but if you can, those speed maps are terrific. On the rating site you can see which horses are going to lead or likely to lead, and do your form, and they can be a great source of income if you do your homework well. You're a front running man? Like the front runners do?
Sometimes.
You must have had a favourite.
I was just thinking then.
You must have had a
I know,
favourite.
that's such a hypothetical question and an impossible question to answer, but if Winks was a front runner, do you think she would have won 25 in a row like she has? Front runners, there's pros and cons. Obviously, back runners, they rely on good tempo, but front runners often can rely on not being attacked.
That's dead right, yeah.
Winter especially, I'm less keen on front runners in winter than in summer, I'd have to say.
Yeah, less horses seem to win, don't they, in winter on wet tracks? Yeah.
Am I allowed to have a rant?
You can have a rant? A good rant. What's the rant?
Okay. Well, I don't know how many of our listeners get up on a Sunday morning and while they're having their bacon and eggs, tune into Track Talk Nationwide, Des Coppin's long-running talkback program.
Must be as old as you, I reckon.
Sorry?
Must be as old as you, about 30, is it? 30 years old, that program?
He would be just about. Anyway, I was listening on Sunday, and there was a couple of callers, one in particular bagging the TAB because they paid out on Guess Who after the unfortunate demise of said horse at Tauranga. The fixed odds bookies paid out as if it was a winning ticket, but of course the tote didn't, and he couldn't understand why the tote didn't as well. Well, then you'd have trifectas, quinellas, first fours, co-mingling, trebles, you name it. It would be just an absolute dog's breakfast to have so-called 2 winners, when clearly in a tote situation you only have 1 winner. If you have 2, you halve the divvy. So it was completely illogical. And yet Des goes, oh yes, no, that's a fair point. I mean, while he likes to be nice to his callers, surely he needs to be firm when people are talking such rubbish, because other people are listening and go, oh yeah, well there you go. You know, blah, 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 blah. And some other caller rings up and says, why can't we get told what the fixed odds pool is? We know how much money is in the win and the place pool on the tote, but why don't we know the same for the fixed odds? Yes, another good point, says Des. What difference would it make to your punting if the pool at the bottom of the website, the fixed odds win pool said $12,000? You would never clue. It could be 2 $6,000 bets only. It could be a spread of bets. It could be all on one horse. It could be across a number of horses. Again, totally illogical and nonsensical. And again, good old Des goes, yeah, that's a very good point. You know, you've got a good point there. I just struggle. If we're trying to educate people, we need to educate them and not let them continue to live in a state of fairyland, fantasy land.
Yep.
Anyway,
yep.
Do you think I should not listen this week, Neil, and take some heart pills?
It's the Mike Hosking sort of factor. People rant on about Mike Hosking when he was on 7 Sharp, and well, you should say there's always the off button or the channel switch you can tap. So money shot, use that switch a bit more often. But I heard him actually say that, and I was surprised with his response. So it just didn't make sense to me. Anyway, I thought it should have been sorted out pronto. Anything else?
Well, how about we have the section that was formerly known as the multi-com question,
of course, yep.
Now known as the free subscription question. So if you are smart enough to know the answer to this question, you can go in the draw. Before we do it, though, Neil, shall we give away last week's prize? Apparently there were 5 people with the correct answer. Poetic Prince, the horse to have won the Cox Plate and the Cambridge Breeders' Stakes. Yep. You've got 5 names in a hat, on your table there. If I call out number 4, who does that relate to? Which person?
Anthony C. You've won a month's extra Form Pro sub, so I'll be in touch with you, so well done. Now,
beautiful, well done, Anthony.
Yep. Give you a big...
So this week's question will make it a little bit harder. We touched on the 2-year-old race at Te Rapa and how Stephen Marsh has won the last 3. Within one of those previous 3 runnings of the Waikato Equine Veterinary Centre Stakes, a horse has gone on to win a Group 1 race this season, who ran in this 2-year-old race as a 2-year-old and has won a Group 1 this season. And we need to know the name of that horse. So you either need to use your trusty friend Google, or if you've got a good memory you might know, or if you go through the winners of Group 1 races this year, you might be able to work it out as well. Funnily enough, Neil, here's another stat for you.
Yeah.
Did you know no New Zealand horse has won more than 1 Group 1 race this season? It's going to make the Horse of the Year voting pretty difficult unless something jumps out of the ground in the Brisbane Carnival.
That's right, and that happens too.
Normally a horse wins 2, like Cowie's won 2 in a season, but no horse this season, New Zealand horse, has won more than 1 Group 1 race.
Yeah. No, that's something we could look at in a future heads up, so... Yeah, maybe after the Brisbane Carnival, that'll be the key, like you say. There'll be some good horses come out of that. If
Volpe Veloce won the Stradbroke, for example, you'd think she'd win Horse of the Year with that in the wrong way, as an aside. But you better give your name and number, your email address and text number for people to enter if they know the answer to that very tricky question.
Yeah, you get it to me by 9 p.m. tonight. No, make it.
No, you can make it. We can make it till the end of the weekend, can't we?
Yeah, make it Monday night. Monday, the time I go to bed. Get in the Form Pro at formpro.co.nz. Email me there, or 027 352 6402. You get a month free sub if you're a current subscriber, an extra month, or if you're new, you get a free month sub. Rightio, and the Form Pro rating's free on Monday. Doing really well. Those speed maps, all those winners are coming up, and good to see the trackside presenters too, pushing them, because it does generate income, and hopefully people back a few winners from them.
Has question for you, and I know you don't want to answer due to the commercial sensitivity of it, has it increased the traffic to the Form Pro rating site?
It has, yep.
Good.
Yep.
I guess that's the spin-off for you, and that's what you want. And
yep.
So no, well done, well played Neil, and well played Dave.
Yeah, no, it's good information, and hopefully everyone profits from it. Rightio. Nothing else you want to mention before we sign off?
There's a punters competition at Te Rapa tomorrow, so if anyone's in the region, get on the website. $500. You can bet wherever you like, whenever you like, within reason. Yep. So you don't have to bet every race. You can only bet a few if you like. You can avoid the jumps races if you don't like jumps races. So a blatant plug for the Waikato Racing Club's punters competition tomorrow.
I might pay to mention too, on June 23rd, the Tauranga.
That's all live now on our website, Racing Tauranga's website. Informant, the very good people at the Informant are sponsoring that, our punters competitions. That's a slightly different format where there's 8 races programmed on the day, and it's across all those 8 races you have to spend a minimum of $70 per race. So some people like that format, some people like the other. So depending on which way you swing, it should be a competition for you.
Yep.
One or the other.
Looking forward to that. And Star Tricky fans will understand this, with today's date being May the 4th. May the 4th be with you.
Be with you.
Good stuff. Rightio.
Well played, Neil.
Yep. Have a good week, punters, and money shot. Make plenty of money, especially tomorrow. What's the prize tomorrow for that punters club?
5,000 cash.
Crikey.
So pretty good price.
Crikey. No, we're going for it.
I'll let you know how we go.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, everyone have a great weekend.